step in God realization and verse number 6 today. And we will also recite the previous 5 verses so that the link is maintained and we can meditate on these verses during the day. But first, let us offer our obeisances and recite the Mangalacharan. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yenah Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurvani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So Canto 2, Chapter 1, verse number 6. Etavan Sankhya Yoga Bhyam Swadharma Parinishtaya Janmalabha Parapum Sham Ante Narayana Smriti. Etavan Sankhya Yoga Bhyam Swadharma Parinishtaya Janmalabha Parapumsham Ante Narayana Smriti. Etavan Sankhya Yoga Bhyam Swadharma Parinishtaya Janmalabha Parapumsham Ante Narayana Smriti. Word to word translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Etavan, all these, Sankhya, complete knowledge of matter and spirit, Yoga Bhyam, knowledge of mystic power, Swadharma, particular occupational duty, Parinishtaya, by full perception, Janma, birth, Labha, gain, Paraha, the supreme, Pumsham, of a person, Ante, at the end, Narayana, the personality of Godhead, Smritihi, remembrance. Translation: the highest perfection of human life, achieved either by complete knowledge of matter and spirit, by practice of mystic powers, or by perfect discharge of occupational duty, is to remember the personality of Godhead at the end of life. Purport: Narayan is the transcendental personality of Godhead beyond the material creation. Everything that is created, sustained, and at the end annihilated is within the compass of the Mahat Tattva, material principle, and is known as the material world. The existence of Narayan, or the personality of Godhead, is not within the jurisdiction of this Mahat Tattva, and as such, the name, form, attributes, etc. of Narayan are beyond the jurisdiction of the material world. By the speculation of empiric philosophy, which discerns matter from spirit, or by cultivation of mystic powers, which ultimately helps the performer to reach any planet of the universe or beyond the universe, or by discharge of religious duties, one can achieve the highest perfection, provided one is able to reach the stage of Narayana Smriti, or constant remembrance of personality of the personality of Godhead. This is possible only by the association of a pure devotee who can give a finishing touch. It's beautiful. Who can give a finishing touch to the transcendental activities of all jnanis, yogis, or karmis in terms of prescribed duties defined in the scriptures. There are many historical instances of the achievement of spiritual perfection, such as that of the Sanakadi Rishis or the 9 celebrated Yogendras, who attained perfection only after being situated in the devotional service of the Lord. None of the devotees of the Lord ever deviated from the path of devotional service by taking to other methods as adopted by the jnanis or yogis. Everyone is anxious to achieve the highest perfection of his particular activity, and it is indicated herein that such perfection is Narayana Smriti, for which everyone must endeavor his best. In other words, life should be molded in such a manner that one is able to progressively remember the personality of Godhead in every step of life. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Bhaktivedanta purports ki jai. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam udhirayet. Nashtaprayeshu bhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. So this is the sort of, you can say, last verse in the series of these verses. So we will now recite the first 5 verses and then continue with this. So I'm reciting 2.1.1. Shri Shuka Vacha Variyan Eshate Prashnaha Krito Lokahitam Ripa Atmavid Sammatah Pumsham Shrotavyadishu Yaha Paraha Shrotavyadini Rajendra Nrinam Shanti Shahashaha Apashchatam Atmatattvam Griheshu Grihimedhinam Nidraya Hrite Naktam Vyavayena Cha Vayavavayah Divacharthe Haya Rajan Kutumba Bharane Nava Dehapatya Kala Tatradishwa Atma Sainyeshwa Asatva Api Tesham Pramatto Nidhanam Pashyan Api Na Pashyati Tasmad Bharata Sarvatma Bhagwan Ishvaro Harihi Shrotavyah Kirtitavyascha Smaratavyascha Ichata Bhayam Etavam Sankhya Yoga Bhyam Swadharma Parinishthaya Janmalabha Para Pumsham Ante Narayana Smriti. These are wonderful verses which describe, Sukadeva Goswami here starts his description. First he gives the he describes the 2 types of people, Grihimedis and Grihastas and Grihimedis. And then he speaks about these 3 here, the karmis, the yogis, and the jnanis. Prabhupada, it's interesting how jnanis, they want to achieve perfection by complete knowledge of matter and spirit. But that is incomplete. We hear in Bhagavad Gita that Prabhupada says, knowledge means to know the difference between matter and spirit and the controller of both. So very important here, the jnanis only want to analyze between matter and spirit and just to go along that path. But no, complete knowledge means knowing the difference between matter and spirit and knowing the controller of both. That is the most important. In the Bhagavad Gita also the 5 causes of action are given. Most of the motivational speakers, they'll speak about the 4 ingredients of this action, but they will never speak about the 5th one, which is the super soul, the most important one. For some newcomers here, I want to just explain very briefly the word Mahatattva. So Mahatattva, in the beginning when the creation happens, imagine it's the closest material popular nomenclature we can speak about is the black box. No, the black hole, sorry, the black hole. The black hole from where everything comes, all the planets come, all the satellites come, all the universes come, the black hole. So this black hole, if you can imagine, if it is a very dense combination of everything, what material we see around us, not only gross material stuff, but including the subtle material like mind, intelligence, and false ego. So when we put everything together, like in a fist of the Lord, of course, it is called Pradhana. The origin is called Pradhana, and from that Mahatattva happens. Mahatattva is the combination of, or here Prabhupada says, material principle of everything together, all the material elements together, the 5 gross and the 3 subtle elements. So Prabhupada in this purport very clearly distinguishes between what is material and what is spiritual. Anything where Narayan or Krishna is not there, when I was reading this purport, I was in the beginning, I was thinking this is like a Jamil, speaking about Narayan, Narayan, Narayan all the time. But it's so beautiful, so purifying on a Monday morning. So Prabhupada is clearly distinguishing here between material and spiritual. Prabhupada says, yes, the personality of Godhead is beyond the material creation. Everything that is created, sustained, and ultimately annihilated within the material principle is called material world. But then beyond that is the spiritual world where Narayana lives. But for us, we are so fortunate. Imagine our fortune that we can have the power and we can have the magic of converting this material into spiritual just by adding Krishna to that. As we heard before, when you add Krishna to music, it becomes kirtan. When you add Krishna to your conversation, it becomes katha. When you add Krishna to your food, it becomes prasadam. So this way, anything which is material, you add Krishna to that, and that becomes Krishnized, as Prabhupada says, and that becomes spiritual. The other important point Prabhupada makes here is that, yes, one can be karmi, one can be jnani, one can be yogi, one can be a grihastha, a grihmeti, whatever classification you fall under. But the highest perfection of life is Ante Narayana Smriti. And for everyone, the prescribed path is one. You can be falling under any category. And as we see, I can boldly say that 99.999% of the population or the living entities will fall under, they won't even know about the existence of these categories, grihastha, grihmedi, karmi, yogi, jnani, nothing. They are just blindly going about their worldly duties. But the change happens when we meet a devotee. The change happens when we meet a pure devotee like Prabhupada. And how do we meet? By kirtan, by coming to the temple, by reading a book, some way or the other. We meet a pure devotee like Prabhupada, and then our spiritual journey begins. And then afterwards, when we are progressing slowly, then we have to think, actually, this journey itself is so beautiful. When we take up to spiritual life, the journey itself is so beautiful. It is, almost as great as destination. Yesterday, we were at the Sunday feast, and it was like, hey, man, everyone was just enjoying using the skills in Krishna service. The teenagers were doing their drum practice. The devotees were doing their drama practice. There was kirtan going inside. There was prasadam being distributed. And for those 2-3 hours, everyone completely forgot their material anxieties. So this is what we say, that the journey itself is as great as the destination. Now, here, the Sukadeva Goswami speaks about Ante Narayana Smritihi. Of course, he speaks about the end of life. But then we are also told, yes, can we make, instead of worrying about the end of the life, like in the first canto, we spoke so much about death. Now let's talk about life. How can we make our life wonderful? It's a beautiful Monday morning, glorious. I can see from my window, it's just like wonderful sunrise is happening. The week is started. Of course, we have a midweek holiday where we are going to do Harinam, to give the holy name to one and all who comes to Eka. So 10 o'clock, we're going to get together at the customs house, old customs house, opposite the RBH. And, we're going to chant and dance and give the holy name to everyone. So why wait for the Ante Narayana Smriti? Why can't we have it, on a daily basis? Chaitanya Charitamrita very beautifully says, of course, a very popular verse, which is, I call a fridge magnet verse. We should have a fridge magnet, and hey Rasa, next Janmashtami you can have this as a fridge magnet. Smartavya satatam Vishnor vismartavya na jatuchit sarve vidhi nishedharsyor etayor eva kinkaraha. Smartavya satatam Vishnu. Smarta means to remember. Satatam means always. So always we have to remember Krishna. We have to remember Vishnu. Vismartavya na jatuchit. That never forget Krishna. Always remember Krishna. Never forget Krishna. Okay, now how to do that? If we see the 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna speaks about, you can do this, you can think of me always. Then says, if you can't think of me, then, follow the regulative principles. If you can't do that, he goes down the steps. So from our side, what can we do? So then Chaitanya Charitamrita mentions here, this is of course originally from Padma Purana. Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. And then it says, Sarve vidhi nishedhashur etayor eva kinkaraha. That means all the other regulations, all the other rules we follow, all the other principles, directives we follow, they are servants of these two rules. Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. Now, Prabhupada says in the purport that yes, one must mold their life in such a way that we remember Krishna all the time. And this is what our morning program is. We get up early in the morning. Yesterday, I was speaking to someone and I was telling them that when we go to Vrindavan, we rise early, attend Mangala Aarti, and then from 4:30 in the morning, 4:15 actually, because the first Aarti happens in Prabhupada Samadhi in Krishna Balram Mandir. So right from 4:15 in the morning till about 9:30, till we finish our breakfast prasadam, we are completely Krishna conscious. There's no other chance of doing anything else. Prabhupada has actually made the daily program like that. In the morning you get up, and it's very interesting. Keshav Swami, he speaks about the 5 a.m. club and 9 a.m. club. And he says from 5 a.m. you move, meditate, read and reflect. MMRR. Move, meditate, read and reflect. So he says moving means do some yoga, meditate means, chant your rounds, read something and then reflect on that. So Prabhupada has actually made the morning program like that. That, we get up in the morning, take our bath, wear fresh clothes, tilak, chant our rounds. Then if you have deities in the house, you can do deity worship nicely. And if you don't have deities, then you should think of establishing a little place for the deities, because as we heard yesterday from Viraj Krishna Prabhu, it is Grihastha Ashrama. We are taking shelter of Krishna. So Krishna has to be present in our house in a very prominent place. So, then we do deity worship and, then we offer whatever breakfast or lunch has been made as bhoga to Krishna. Krishna enjoys it, then he gives us prasadam. Then during the day also, somehow or the other, we can mold our life that we can think of Krishna. In the evening, very wonderfully, Prabhupada says many times that the family should come together and do a 5-minute kirtan or a 10-minute reading. If everyone can come together and make a point that yes, everyone comes together, because we are always so busy with our so many different activities in life that we never get this family time. And we know, family which prays together stays together. Family which dances together advances together. And that's why when people come to the Aarti in the temple, we always want them to be dancing with us, smiling, be happy, chanting Hare Krishna like that. So family which prays together stays together, family which dances together advances together, and family which serves together loves together. So this is our program, just simple program. All this will happen, as Prabhupada says here in the purport, is that yes, and Prabhupada gives example of Shanakadi Rishi and Navyogendras. And this will happen, Prabhupada says, this is possible only by the association of a pure devotee. And as I said, who can give a finishing touch to the transcendental activities of all jnanis, yogis or karmis in terms of prescribed duties defined in the scriptures. Yes, we can be doing many, many things, many, many rituals here, there, everywhere, If you tell someone that, Prabhu, you should chant Hare Krishna or you should do this or you should do that, especially as far as devotional service is concerned, they say, no, in the morning, every day I do this, I offer lamp or I do my puja or I do this or that and all that. Yes, that's correct. You understand that, but at least follow what we call Bhagavad Dharma. If you follow Bhagavad Dharma, then it helps. So as devotees, it is our duty also to, make people understand that whatever you're doing is okay, you can keep on doing it, but just add a little bit of Bhagavad Dharma to that, add a little bit of Krishna to that. So Prabhupada says here, yes, whatever you're doing, and Prabhupada says here, who can give a finishing touch to the transcendent activities of jnanis, karmis, and yogis. My spiritual master, whenever he gives initiation to young people, especially, like teenagers and who are very enthusiastic in the spiritual life, they've got very good parents like that. And when they get initiated, my Guru Maharaj says, actually, the parents have done all the job. I just give the finishing touch, and then I take the credit for initiating them. So he says, yes, the pure devotee, the spiritual master, he gives the finishing touch to our activities. And Prabhupada gives the example of Sanakadi Rishis, the four Kumaras, and then now Yogendras. And we see in the Srimad Bhagavatam, so many instances are there where Srila Narad Muni, he goes around and gives finishing touches to everyone, including the demons. So this way we can see. And then Prabhupada speaks very interesting concept. It's like a one-way traffic, Prabhupada says, none of the devotees of the Lord ever deviated from the path of devotional service by taking to other methods, right? So once you enjoy the Krishna consciousness flavor, it is said, once a devotee, always a devotee. Even though sometimes we think, this person has gone away, or this person, we cannot find him, or this person is not coming to the temple. But rest assured, once a devotee, always a devotee. It might just take a little longer, maybe a couple of lifetimes, maybe a few lifetimes. But the seed of bhakti which is there inside us, it is not, once it has been sprouted, it will take time, but it will be sure. So Prabhupada says, none of the devotees of the Lord ever deviated from the path of devotional service by taking to other methods. But we see here that other people who have taken the path of jnana, karma, and yoga, once they meet a pure devotee, they take to the path of devotional service. So it's a no-brainer to think which is the more powerful of the processes. And even Bhagavad Gita, Krishna, after almost every chapter, he speaks about karma yoga, jnana yoga, dhyana yoga. He says, yes, bhakti yoga is the best. What to say? Yoginam api sarvesham madgate nantaratmana shraddhavan bhajate yomam samim yukta tamomataha. Krishna says, yes, he speaks about dhyana yoga in the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. And it says, of all the yogis, one who thinks of me, one who abides in me, one who renders devotional service to me, is the highest yogi of all. Interestingly, in Chaitanya Charitamrita also, we all come from the background of, not all, but most of us come from the background of worshipping the devatas. We worship Ganesh, we worship Lakshmi, we worship Durga, we worship, different devatas. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it's mentioned that those who are attached to demigod worship, somehow or the other, if they fortunately associate with the devotees, what happens is that their dormant devotional service and appreciation of the Lord's qualities gradually awaken. So as devotees, it is our duty also. We have to have that intelligence. We have to have that expertise in making people understand that please come to devotional service, take part in it, appreciate that. And this way, once they engage in Krishna's devotional service, they will give up all the other desires, including, it says, the desire for liberation and desire to merge into Brahman. And Prabhupada says in that purport that yes, the real cause for this change is the association of all the devotees. Now we are fortunate that to come in association of Prabhupada, pure devotee like Prabhupada. He is, he's a Vaishnava Shrestha Prabhupada. So we follow every day what he has prescribed for us. Every day, slowly. If I'm chanting 1 round, can I chant 2 rounds? If I'm chanting 2 rounds, can I chant 4 rounds? If I'm not chanting anything, can I begin with 2 rounds? Whatever it is, slowly. Because of course we've got other duties also. But slowly if we do it every day, as Madhvacharya says, I do not judge a person by what they do in 1 day, but I judge someone by what they do every day. So every day, if we just perform our practices, take up to spiritual life, especially in Grihastha life, it is said, Prabhupada said, Grihastha life is a sure way of success in spiritual life. But sannyas is a short way of success. Of course, I don't know if anyone can be a sannyasi from us. We hope and we pray that someone can become a sannyasi, take up to this spiritual life very quickly, very seriously and become a sannyasi and accept that short way of success. But Prabhupada says Grihastha life is a sure way of success. That, yes, if you maintain your Grihastha life nicely, if you add devotional service, and if you keep on adding devotional service, then definitely success is guaranteed. I give this example. A Grihastha life is like crossing a raging river. We are on one end of the river, one bank of the river. The river is going very fast, downstream. And there's a Krishna temple on the other side, right exactly where we are standing. If we try to cross the river straight and want to go to the temple on the other side, that might be very difficult. We might be taken away by the raging current of the river. But if we use our intelligence and flow together with the river's current, we might be deviated a little bit, but we will definitely land on the other side of the river. And then with a lot less effort, because we are not going against the current. And then once we reach on the other side, then it'll be easy for us to walk towards the temple. So Grihastha life is like that. We understand that the material forces are against us. So we flow in such a way that, yes, we are keeping the focus of Krishna temple on the other side in our minds. We are traversing the journey of the material life. And then once we are at a stage where our Grihastha life is finished, we reach that age where the children are, gone or they are independent, then we can safely walk towards the Krishna temple. That means we can safely accept the full practice of Krishna consciousness, where we can follow this verse of always remembering Krishna, never forgetting Krishna all the time. The power of devotional service is very nicely explained when Narad Muni explains to Vasudeva. I think that's the yeah, I think I can't remember where it is, but it's a very beautiful verse where Narad Muni speaks about the glories of the devotional service. He's saying that pure devotional service rendered to the Supreme is so potent, is spiritually so potent. So please hear very carefully. It is so potent that simply by hearing about such transcendental service, when you only hear about this pure devotional service, Prabhupada is a classic example. He is a pure devotee. So when we simply hear about Prabhupada's pure devotional service, or by chanting its glories in response. So when we hear about Prabhupada's pure devotional service, we also speak about that. By meditating on it, by respectfully and faithfully accepting it, or even just by praising the devotional service of others. When we praise the devotional service of others, even persons who hate the demigods and all other living entities can be immediately purified. Imagine that. People who are hating the devotees, they're hating the demigods, they're hating other living entities, just by praising someone who's doing devotional service, they can be immediately purified. Such is the power of pure devotional service. So it's 6:59. There's something I wanted to read, but also go through it, but we don't have time for that. One thing I want to remind you is Prabhupada's appearance day is coming Sunday. So please write your homages, express your heartfelt gratitude to Prabhupada. It's very important that we take this opportunity, whatever busy we are with Janmashtami, this preparation, that preparation. But my humble request, I have straw in between my teeth, folding my hands, falling at your lotus feet. I request everyone to please write a homage to Srila Prabhupada, express our gratitude. And, if someone wants help in writing homages, you can approach one of the devotees. But please make sure that we have written a nice homage expressing our gratitude to Srila Prabhupada, who has given us this wonderful spiritual life. Yadi Prabhupada na hoite, tabe ki hoite. So just imagine if Prabhupada wouldn't have been there, what would be our situation? So this way, when we even writing a homage to our Supreme Guru, our Param Guru, is a part of a wonderful devotional practice. So this way, please, my dear devotees, perfect your human life by adopting this spiritual practice, and then at the end, Ante Narayana Spritihi. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Granth Raj, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Any comments or questions and reflections? Okay, someone has mentioned it's 11 to 12. So you have to go through who's speaking to who. That's the homework. And then go through the conversation. Okay, so if there's no questions or comments, reflections. Yes, Madhuri.
Prabhu, sorry, is this the verse you were mentioning when
Yes. Shruto nupatudhyata adrato vanumoditaha satyah punati saddharmo deva vishwa druhopihi. Deva vishwa. So he's against the devas, he's against the vishwa druhopihi. Someone who's hating, Prabhupada used the word hating, the devatas and the general people, even that person can be immediately purified. How? Saddharma. And it's translated, Saddharma is translated in that purport as Bhagavat Dharma. Bhagavat Dharma, as we know, we are practicing Bhagavat Dharma, following in Prabhupada's footsteps. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you very much. 11 to 12. So you can go through this verse and the conversation. Any questions, reflections? Okay, may you all have a wonderful
Krishna,
devotion.
Prabhuji.
Yes,
Can I just interrupt for a sec?
Yes.
Thank you for a lovely class. So inspirational, especially on a Monday morning to get us all motivated for the week. I was thinking of the content of the class, and I was thinking to myself, I just wish so many other people that I knew could hear this. I hear this every day, and it always enriches me. But I know so many other people. There's a guy that lives in the marina, the Redland Bay Marina, in his van, and I saw him yesterday, and I see him occasionally, and he's quite a spiritual guy, but he kind of his ideas are a bit here, there, and everywhere. And at the moment, he's reading the Bible, and then in 3 months' time, he'll be reading another holy book. And I told him yesterday, I said, as a young man, I had travelled for 7 years to 4 corners of the globe, and I studied so many religions and experienced so many different cultures. And I said it wasn't until I read Bhagavad Gita that all of my questions were answered. And he turned around and he said, yeah, well, that worked for you. And I thought to myself, yeah, so he's obviously not ready to accept. And I thought I might stick a little book like Matchless Gifts in his van. Yeah, I just feel that, it'd be so nice if this message could go out to the broader public. That's all I wanted to say.
Sure, bro. Thank you very much for that. This is the compassion you have in your heart for, other living entities, other people. Simple solution we can do is just give them some cookies, some cookie prashadam, something what they like. And everyone likes free prashadam. And give them a couple of books, perfect questions, perfect answers. And we just do our bit. Don't expect anything. Krishna will do his job. So slowly. That's why for us, temple is the actual base. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur says that temple is the base where our army is situated, but we have to go out and conquer the world. So that's why on Wednesday we are doing this Harinam, regularly. Abhishek Prabhu is very kindly organizing Harinam. Many devotees come and we give this holy name, we give some prasadam. And if anyone is interested, I know everyone is busy, but this is our Yuga Dharma. Harinam is the Yuga Dharma, that we go out and give prasadam, the holy name books, to one and all. And somehow or the other, if they come in the contact with the holy name, prasadam, a book, their journey has started. And we become instruments in the hands of our Guru, in the hands of Krishna, to fulfill their mission. Does that help, Prabhu? Simple thing is just bring a container every time, just take prasadam back and offer prasadam to these people. And also be mindful that even prasadam has to be very selective. Normally when I give to someone, I just give cookies in the beginning. Cookies everyone likes. Gulab jamuns maybe not, it's too Indian, so maybe they won't like it. but cookies everyone likes. Samosas people have heard, they like. So whatever prasadam is suitable, just, you can distribute that. And of course, Prabhupada's books are very potent, very powerful. So that will definitely do the job. We know that Prabhupada said that my books are like time bombs. One day, someone has got in their house, someone is in the closet, and it will definitely explode and do the job one day. Is that okay, Prabhu?
It is fantastic. It's great advice. Thank you,
We can
Prabhuji.
carry this offline also.
Sure.
Yeah. Anyone else? Anyone? Sorry, it's gone a bit late, but some wonderful practical applications here. Okay, thank you very much. You have a wonderful day, and Krishna willing, we'll see you tomorrow at 6:30 to continue glorification of Srimad Bhagavatam. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Have a blissful day, everyone. Hare
Krishna. Thank you,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for your class, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.